The world is tough because even if we lock up bad people, new ones replace them with even worse stories. For over a year, people have been talking online about a creepy video with the title you see. Those who watched it, maybe not the worst ever, say it's really sickening. Before we jump into the main stuff, let me tell you a story to show how serious things are. Meet Adam Britton, a 51-year-old British zoologist. He's originally from West Yorkshire but has been living in Australia since 1996. Adam is well respected in the scientific community, especially for his work with crocodiles. He got his doctorate from the University of Bristol and has a deep passion for wildlife. He's so good at what he does that he even worked with Sir David Attenborough, a super famous naturalist known for his BBC shows. Adam also collaborated with National Geographic and once joined Bear Grylls on the popular show Man vs. Wild as a guide. When we discuss disturbing content, even those with strong dislike or narrow thinking have clear limits on what they can handle. While everyone's limits differ, there's a common agreement that harming animals and very young children is a big no-no. This is because there are strict laws protecting them, and people generally agree that innocent beings shouldn't be subjected to harmful ideas from the darker side of human thoughts. In early 2022, people heard rumors about a bunch of videos showing a really awful thing, the brutal killing of a family of dogs. Now, there are online groups into forbidden stuff who usually enjoy this kind of dark content. But surprisingly, they decided to do something good. They wanted to find out who did it and make them face the consequences. So, these usually not so nice communities started caring about justice. This was a big deal and set an example for future actions. People online found out that the first recordings were made or shared on Telegram in November 2020 and 2021. It happened in a channel owned by someone from Lithuania, who's known for being into animal abuse. After a while, the recordings started showing up on private forums. Since they were in many parts, they were sometimes messy or had missing bits. But during this time, people started calling them by the name mentioned before. On March 22nd, a user named Dref put together all the parts of the recordings in the right order, making a single 15-minute video. The goal was to draw attention to the case and identify the person responsible. After the video gained attention, it spread to larger platforms like Kiwi Farms, a web forum discussing internet events. From there, it reached different parts of the internet. People got really mad again when they saw the content. It became a big problem that kept getting worse. Some websites that had the bad stuff took it down and changed their rules to ban anything with animals right away. People who were trying to find the person behind the bad stuff did a good job finding where it happened. They told the authorities in that country, and on April 22nd, just a month later, they arrested the person responsible. It was hard to know this at the time because not everyone knew if the police were doing anything. The country's authorities didn't share much information, like they didn't even say who the person was for a while. The judge in charge of the case thought it was better to keep the person's identity a secret because of how awful the stuff was. I need to mention something important here. Some of the sources I used for this video were outdated. They were waiting for a trial to reveal the person's identity, but the trial kept getting delayed because of the graphic nature of the case. Users on the internet did their own unofficial investigation and identified the person in the recordings as Adam Britton. At first, it was just speculation based on things like where the recordings were made and where the scientist Adam Britton lived. Some more specific details, like moles on his left forearm, added to the suspicion. Also, Britton's social media accounts went inactive just before the police arrested the person in the recordings. These details were convincing but not definite proof. Now, it's confirmed that Adam Britton is indeed the person. If you search his name on Google, you'll find updated articles discussing his case. Adam Britton, a wildlife professional, appeared in videos where he cruelly harmed a family of dogs. The Australian Federal Police, focusing on animal and child abuse, discovered disturbing materials at Britton's house. He faced 15 charges initially, including animal cruelty and bestiality, but more charges were added as investigations revealed additional disturbing content, some involving children. People following the case speculated that infamous online videos might be part of the evidence. Britton faced 215 charges, making people very cautious around him. Rumors spread that people tried to burn his house after finding out who he was, but it was actually an abandoned building nearby. As the police looked into it, they found more videos he shared on Telegram. In these videos, you can see titles and descriptions. Britton set up a special container with cameras and microphones to record and share his actions with similar groups on Telegram. The police found lots of electronic stuff, computers, phones, cameras, hard drives, and other things like intimate toys and weapons at his place, inside and outside. They also found animal remains, some abandoned, others kept as weird trophies. Britton hid his double life well, especially from his wife after the 2020 pandemic. The couple made videos feeding crocodiles and sharing their work, but Britton was secretly into darker stuff during that time. I can't share all the details of Britton's actions, as they are not public, but the police have a lot of evidence. His file is very long, and even Daily Mail Australia chose not to show his disturbing videos. I'll describe what could be seen in them. Only a few seconds are online, and someone uploaded a joke video on YouTube with a Rick Astley twist. It got taken down after a few days. So far, what you've seen in the video is the most detailed info I could find about the situation. The latest update is that the case went back to court on December 13th for the man to get his sentence, but there's no info on that yet. His wife found out about the situation and separated from him, going back to her maiden name. We're respecting her privacy to avoid more involvement. Adam's social media on Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn is still active, likely part of the police investigation. People online are discussing what consequences might come for those who worked with Adam. Officially, no one knew about this side of him, but there might be allegations. It's hard to believe that someone dedicated to wildlife would take such a turn, and there could be a longer story for many. Adam Britton did really bad things. What makes it worse is that unlike other bad people we know, he was someone everyone trusted. It's scary to think how many other seemingly good people might be like him. I strongly advise against looking for the details. Even if you only see a little bit, it's not a good idea to dig deeper. This is new stuff that adds to the dark side of the internet. Thanks for watching the video. We'll be back to check out more weird things in the next one.